Let's talk age gaps, guys. I get this question almost every single day, and I wanted to take a specific amount of time for us to go over this and answer one of your questions. If you guys want to write in a question to me or have it featured on either a podcast episode of The Sabrina Zohar Show or one of these in the trenches at sabrinazohar.com, send them on in and let's get going. All right, so I'm going to read the question and then we're going to go into it. I also have a study that quantifies the information I'm giving. And let's also remember, you might not agree with me. It's okay if you believe that age gaps are healthy and normal and all of those things. We're allowed to have, it's not that I don't think it's healthy and normal, but whatever it is, we're allowed to have differentiating of opinions, but just know that we're all here to have a conversation. So if you guys are going to leave comments after, like we can have a dialogue, but let's just see how we speak to each other about a very touchy subject like age gaps. All right. Hey, Sabrina, love your show. Yay. Thank you. Like I said, guys, if you want, I have a podcast called The Sabrina Zohar Show. It has a lot more. So you don't talk about much age gap relationship, and I think you'd have an interesting take on it. I'm a male 44 who understands that I struggle and manage a disorganized attachment style. I always anxiously wanted a relationship, but behave erratically and hurtful when I connect with someone. After the growth I've earned from your show and working with multiple therapists, I am seeing more and more healthy dates and hoping to find my person soon. I'm semi-retired, my career went well, and I raised a comfortable amount of wealth. The last few years, I got to travel the world and I'm now embarking on a second career for my own fulfillment. It's awesome. I'm in college with a lot of younger women, but I'm only interested in building a relationship with mature students, late 20s and above. I've always wanted to be a father. I volunteer as a big brother, and I'm a proud father as well as training of a trained pup. I'm also an adored uncle to my siblings' kids and many friends' children. As a single man, I can't adopt a child without a partner. But really, I would love to have my own. I'm wondering how much of a stigma is there as a recovering attachment wounded person who wants to be a father dating a significantly younger woman? Or should I just give up on the idea of having my children altogether? Thanks. Okay. So the first thing, let me just hold space. That's really fucking real. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what age. I don't care anything. Your desire to be a caregiver, to be a parent, to have children is really real and valid. And I don't think that anybody should just be like, well, I guess I just have to give up on it. I think it's an element of reality, right? I'm a 35-year-old woman. I am in a relationship, so it's obviously a different circumstance. But if I were 35 and single, all I wanted was kids, well, then that would mean I'd be looking for different things in a partner, because maybe I'm not looking for the young, attractive, successful person because I want someone that's more established. I want someone that could be a caregiver. I want someone that has more bandwidth and time. So what I'm looking for is going to be different if I'm actively seeking a partner. And what I hear in the email is just a lot of all or nothing, right? That's that black or white thinking. If you guys want more, check out the podcast. We have an episode on that. And I hear that's either, if it's not this, then it has to be this. Either I go for college, age students, or I just don't do this at all. And I think that we can maybe hold some space for a hybrid, if you will. So the first thing I want to say is I don't think age gaps inherently are a problem. I think if it works for you, good luck, Godspeed. I wish you all the best. If I see a 20-year-old with a 70-year-old, maybe to me, that's not my thing, but hey, I don't give a shit. If it works for you guys, great. That's all that matters. But for me, I think there's an element of reality here of age gaps, right? In the sense where I want somebody who is more developed. Now, I'm not going to start and go, oh, your brain stops developing at 25. It's sure, we understand that full development continues on in life. We can rewire because your brain is neuroplastic. But true development, for me, I want someone at least that's over the age of 27, 28, because at the very least, one, they have more experience and their cognitive growth is at the higher threshold of where it's going to be, right? 28 to 30 is where we really start to see, and then from there it's rewiring. Again, I'm not saying pop psychology that you never can. But my point being is when I see a 20-year-old with a 40, 50-year-old, to me that feels like grooming. Again, you can say, I don't agree. Great. Good luck, Godspeed. Start your own fucking podcast and YouTube channel and start talking about it if you don't agree. That's fine. For me, as my professional opinion, I have not seen that work out. That's my opinion. So if you are 44, but you're saying it's one, do you only have to go for students? Can you date a woman that's 32, that's 33, that is ready for children, that says, I'd like to pop out 2 or 3 in the next 5 years? Great. You can still do that. I think a desire to have children is beautiful. And I think we should absolutely follow that. But I don't know that we need to put barriers around, well, it has to be a college edge. It has to be a college student. Not necessarily, you don't have to meet somebody through your school. I know you might be attracted to them. It's well, sure, younger women are good looking at times, right? They're young and they've got all the life and that's why they say youth is wasted on the young, right? So I would start to look and say, what are you attracted to? What do you find yourself attracted to in a younger person? Is it that you feel like they have more levity? Is it that you feel like they're jovial? Is it that you feel like, what do you have in common, right? If you're older than 10 years from this person, what do you have in common, right? If I'm 35, what do I have in common with a 55-year-old personally? Not as much. Maybe we see some things, the Venn diagram might overlap, but personally, I don't have enough to where I would date someone older. Again, if as a 35-year-old woman, if you're dating 60-year-olds, you're an adult. You could do whatever the fuck you want. And again, if it's working for you, awesome. I want you to be happy and in a relationship. So, but here's the study. So this part of this study, it was an Emory University study. It showed a 5-year age gap resulted in an 18% higher chance of divorce compared to 3% chance with just a 1-year age gap. Okay. Those with a 10-year age gap were found to be 39% more likely to have a divorce. So we're starting to inch our way closer. And those with a 20-year age gap were 95% more likely to divorce. What they also found is that older women dating younger men were more successful per capita on the relationship and having a successful long-term relationship, I think by like 30%, versus older men with younger women. Now, I don't know the specifics on it. They didn't clarify the why in the study. So I'm not going to try and go on a wild goose chase and try to figure out why that is. But what I am going to say is that if you want to engage in a large age gap difference, then also just know that maybe it won't work out. Maybe it will. There's no crystal ball, but the studies are showing that when you start to have more than even a 10-year age gap between the two of you, there is a higher likelihood and propensity that the relationship is going to end in divorce or potentially a breakup. Again, do whatever the fuck you want to do. And guys, as always, let me just clarify, if you want any more, you can listen to the podcast. I have a show called The Sabrina Zohar Show, work one-on-one. You could join the foundation course. You can ask a question. There's a bunch of resources at sabrinazohar.com or in the link in the show notes. So just know that that's there. But I think really if I'm reading this question, I just find it interesting that I'm wondering how much of a stigma there is. And also it's saying, as a recovering attachment wounded person who wants to be a father, what does your attachment wound have anything to do with the fact that you are 44 years old and you want to be a father? This is where I say also we have to be careful about self-identification. I'm disorganized. I have all these things. So it's like you're shaming yourself for the fact that you had some shit that you were working through from childhood. And in shaming yourself, do you think that you're going to change quicker? Or is that justifying that if you shame the reason that you didn't have it by now, that we justify? You are worthy and deserving of all of these things. I don't care where you came from. I don't care your attachment style. I don't care if you're insecure or secure. You deserve love and a family and a happy and successful relationship just like anybody else. So now I will say, do you feel comfortable with this? Do you feel like you have enough in common with people, with girls that are, you were saying late 20s. So what are you, a 27-year-old, so almost 20-year age gap. What are you guys talking about besides what you're currently into, right? You're going to tell me honestly, like you listen to their music, you speak in the same verbiage, you connect with them. If the answer is yes, okay, like then maybe that's just where you are in life. Like me personally, I've never felt more disconnected than when I'm in a room with like a bunch of, and not that there's anything wrong with anybody that in their young 20s, but because I'm 35, because I'm in a different place in life, I look and go, oh, I've been there, baby. I can't tell you what to do. Well, you got to learn this on your own and you'll be here, but I can give you the big sister advice. And you said, like, I help, I volunteer, I do all these things. Like, you are loving, you're warm. Like, you don't have to explain why you want kids and how amazing of a father you're going to be. But I think what we have to look at is, fine, if that's the case, then there's an intentionality with the way that we're going to show up with the way that we date. There is a different energy we're going to bring of like, hey, I'm not wasting any time. I want marriage and kids. I want to be really clear about that. My old business partner had that. I have a clothing company called Software, wearsoftware.com if anybody wants anything. And he turned 40 and one day he just said, I'm ready for kids. And he had a few dates, met this woman. She was 35. Now they're married with 3 kids. It was just because he was ready. He was intentional. He was not wasting his time. He was not going to date people that didn't align with him. He had no problem saying no. So I think it's less about, do I need to focus on an age gap? Obviously, if you're 44, you're not going to date a 44-year-old woman because it might be difficult to have your own children in that regard. It's not impossible. My friend just did it. But fine, then maybe we say 34, 35, like you're allowed, it's okay to have an age gap, but it's also like how far is the gap and how large is it? My another question is like, what makes you think that a girl in college, a woman in her late 20s, wants to have marriage and kids right now with someone that's 44, right? We also have to say, but what about their life experiences? We have to hold space for that too. So again, none of this is about shame or blame. It's really just about, if this works for you, great, good luck, Godspeed. If it doesn't though, or if there's a disconnect, it's like date the people that align with what it is that you are looking for in a mother of your children. That's also going to mean their maturity level, their life experience, what they're bringing, all of those things. Like that's all equally important because you're about to sign up for 18 plus years with this person. You're bringing another life into the world with this person. I don't think it needs to be all or nothing. We don't have to go from, should I just give up and never have a kid, or I marry a 22-year-old or 24-year-old. I think we can find something in the middle of, you're ready, you're intentional. Sure, you could date different age groups and see what aligns with you, but let's focus on the type of mother that you're looking for your children, as opposed to how old this person needs to be for you to feel comfortable with it, because that might show up in different ways. But I will say about age gaps, personally, I think anything over 10 years feels like grooming. I don't really get it, but that's me. Again, you're allowed to disagree and you're allowed to have a different opinion. And if you have a different experience, awesome. Like if you're in a relationship right now and your partner's 25 years older than you and you're happy, great. That's awesome. Like I want nothing more than you guys to be happy and successful. But if you're going to ask the opinion, that is what I believe about age gaps. So guys, thank you for coming and sitting with me for a nice little short nugget. We do these every week. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what else you guys need. And if you have any questions, I'm here. And guys, I know some of you guys might write of like, well, I'm 22. Is that okay with 29? It's like, all I'm going to say is this. If you feel comfortable in your relationship, keep living it. But if you don't, then start to get curious. That's all. So guys, like I said, everything's at sabrinazohar.com or right here in the show notes if you need more. And I'm just grateful. Thank you guys for sitting with me for another quick little snippet. Until next time.